So I realised there were far too many questions and answers for just one video. So I split it into multiple videos. So this is part 2. So the next one comes from Roy. And this was about my video on the Jupiter80 being a joy to play. And he said, you said it correctly, the Jupiter80 is an absolute joy to play. I purchased mine about a year ago. It's my favourite synth to play on. The action feels great, looks great, built great, sounds great. It's sad to say, but I don't know if Roland will ever make another high-end synthesizer like this. From what I understand, this was Roland's founder's dream synth, from what the original Jupiter8 was supposed to be. Once he left, they started going for the analog emulation direction. If they do ever make another high-end synth, it's probably won't be for another 8 to 10 years. And I completely echo the sentiment of this one. Roland have always been known for making cracking synthesizers. The Jupiter80 was a cracking synthesizer. The Fathoms were a cracking range of workstations. And I can't see anything in the Roland roadmap at the moment that says there's another high-end must-have synthesizer workstation out there. But we'll see. The next one is, this one amused me, it really did amuse me, from Andrew, and it says, aren't you a bit old to be Aren't you a bit old for an unboxing video? Most definitely not. I love opening boxes of new equipment, whether it be from a brand new piece of equipment that comes from the shop and it's all in the nice box, and you open it up and see what you see, get to play with, and all the cables and everything else that comes with it. Sadly though, modern stuff, you get the box and you get very little else. In the old days you just get a big thick book and it was great. But I also love opening stuff that second-hand gear I've bought on eBay and taking it out the box and seeing what this thing is going to do, especially if I've never owned one in the past. So that really is a great thing. I probably should make more unboxing videos rather than fewer unboxing videos. Okay, so the next one comes from Robert, and he says, agree, power over USB only is a nightmare. Thumbs up. The other factor is, though your device might have multiple USB ports that provide the right amount of power, internally the device may have all the ports on the same hub, which can cause other problems. As I have just had a hard drive melt on me due to power issues from multiple items in a USB hub, I have purchased the Ektron over hub. Research suggests that this was designed by Ektron to support audio products being connected together. It's a good fit for all other audio USB. It's an expensive for a hub, but after losing the hard drive and prepared to pay a premium, I have also become more picky about using USB and have ported multiple items over to MIDI and audio rather than using the MIDI and audio over USB. So what I'd take from this, and this is a really good point. This was taken from a recent video I did on USB Pagan Onyx, which is all about, if you are going to power things over USB, be very careful. And Robert makes some couple of really good points here. One of the points is that you don't necessarily know how the manufacturer of your keyboard, your computer, has configured the USB inside that computer. Now, quite often, what you will see is a cluster of USB ports, on the computer, which may be 4 or 6, or it could even be 2. But they will be clustered together in the same part of the computer on the back or something like that. That's normally a pretty good indication that all those USB ports are sharing the power to USB as if it were a hub. And in other words, it's treating it as a hub on the computer board itself. So you could actually end up with problems thinking that you're plugging things directly into the computer and the computer not giving enough power out. So it's really important to go and check the specs of the computer. The other point he makes is if you're going to use other peripherals such as hard drives or other audio interfaces, etc., then you really need to take into account what their power draw is, and they may have power spikes as well. This is another key point here, is they won't necessarily draw a constant power, they will probably draw a power spike when they fire up and shut down. So that could quite easily overload your USB setup. I have to be honest and say I haven't worked with the Electron overhub, but maybe it's one to put on the list of things to go and look at when you are looking to purchase a hub. Okay, the next one comes from my friend Bruce. So basically, there's a whole series of responses. I'm just going to pick the salient ones out of here. This was in response to some comments I made about cloud computing and what happens if your cloud provider goes insolvent. Where's your data? What guarantees do you have, etc., And Bruce comes back and says the cloud in data storage is no cloud at all. The cloud is only someone else's computer, and it's somebody else who you don't know at all. Do not trust the cloud ever. Cheers, Bruce. Again, I completely echo the sentiments of what he is saying, because it is very true. When we all talk about the cloud, what we're effectively doing is trying to pass some function, be it storage, be it processing, be it something else, to somebody else to perform on your behalf. You have no idea where that thing is being performed. It could be in the country you're in, it could be thousands of miles away. That is how cloud computing works. In the UK we have something called the Data Protection Act, which is just being replaced by GDPR, and don't ask me what that stands for at the moment because I can't remember straight off the top of my head, but it's all about protecting data, or most necessarily other people's data that you may be holding for whatever reason. So if you're running a business, etc., if you're using something like the cloud, you really need to really understand what protection you get from the person who is hosting that cloud environment. Can you get your data back if in terms of insolvency? And what is the remedy if there is a data breach and your data is made available publicly? Could that cause you embarrassment? Could it cause other people embarrassment? And could it be illegal? So, well, good point, well made, Bruce. One, two, oh, yeah. So this is the point in the video where I say, if you like the contents of this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'm sure by now, if you didn't like the content of the video, you've already given it a thumbs down, but I prefer if you didn't. Giving the video a thumbs up means that anybody else... So this is the point in the video where I turn around to you and say, if you enjoyed the contents of this video, please give it a thumbs up. It allows other people to find this content more easily that you have enjoyed. I'm sure by now, if you didn't like the content of the video, you've probably given me a thumbs down, but I'd prefer if you didn't. If you'd like to be notified about when I post additional content to this channel, somewhere about here should be the subscription icon. So please click on there and subscribe to the channel. Over here should be other content that you may enjoy that I've already done or posted to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again.